there are obviously so many challenges in what you're doing and in the professional and in the compositional side of it. Are there situations that you've been in where you felt particularly empowered, or where, you felt encouraged to take that next step, or to, take that risk with whatever you were doing, or maybe particular people, or
Mhm.
things that sort of pushed you along?
Absolutely. Yeah, there have definitely been. I mean, in fact, it's because of feedback from players and audience members that I even continue. But there's one event that comes to mind as something that was really, it really launched me in my view of myself, that I can write something that's useful and people like it. And that was actually getting back to this Passacaglia. Um, as a student at Boston University, I started writing my suite for brass quintet when I was there, and a student group performed, premiered actually the first movement, fanfare, of that on a Empire Brass masterclass. So Empire Brass were in residence at Boston University, and that actually was really helpful to me as a composer. I used to go to I was a total EBQ groupie. I have to say, I would go to their concerts and their master classes, and I learned a lot about brass by that, absorbing everything from these guys. Anyway, so the student group performs the piece, and the next day I get a call from Jeff Curnow, and he says, "Hey, what else have you written for brass?" And I said, "Well, I have, this Passacaglia." And he says, "Take everything you've written for brass and send it to me, because we're going to use it at Tanglewood this summer." I went, "What?" And they ended up using the Passacaglia as a set works that each student ensemble learned for they had the Empire Brass Quintet seminar there, and every group learned this piece. And I thought, wow, so this is like what it feels like to be useful as a composer. And that meant so much to me, more than I mean, sometimes this is kind of crazy, but I think a lot of composers think this way. It's like, well, what if I got the Pulitzer Prize? Huh? I don't even think it would mean that. Well, first of all, I'm never going to get it. But even if I did, I don't know that that would mean as much to me as something like someone really using the piece because it's a piece of useful music. Like that for me is like my favorite kind of compliment for my music. I'd say I just want that's why I do this. It's hard work writing it. So I like it to be useful. And I love when people come up to me and say, "Oh, I've been playing your whatever the piece is, and I just really love it. And I love this challenge here, measure 48 and this, anyway." And I remember what it was like to be the violinist learning a piece, and that concerto or whatever big piece I was working on, that was sort of like my everything and my focus of my day, and my highs and lows were all tied to how are things going with that, my progress on this piece. And so for me, it's sort of the greatest compliment when someone tells me that they're enjoying playing a piece of mine.